The blustery snowfall has made more work for an already busy snow removal crew. Between 10 and 15 centimeters of the white stuff blew through the border city since Sunday morning. The city advises that downtown grading continues tonight, starting with 50th and 49th Avenues, as well as Highway 16 east of 50th. They're encouraging drivers to avoid street parking in the area to help facilitate the removal. While costs of removal are high, Mayor Albers assures that it is budgeted for.
This snow removal has gone up. We know that. We'll wait and see what the final number is. And we know going into next year, there's no signs that fuel will be coming down in price, as well as the taxes that are paid on it. So it's going to continue to eat away at us a little bit, but we are budgeted to deal with the issues as they arise.
For more information, visit www.lloydminster.ca/snowops. Lloydminster RCMP have arrested a 27-year-old local man in connection with an incident of vehicle vandalism at local apartment complex. Police received several reports on November 20th from the apartment complex in the 1600 block of 47th Avenue. Owners spotted a man slashing vehicle tires with a knife, but the suspect could not be positively identified at the time. Police have now arrested Tyler Stefan and charged him with mischief over $5,000 and possession of a weapon for a dangerous purpose. Lloydminster RCMP have determined that 19 vehicles in this area had at least one of their tires slashed. Stefan will appear in court on January 9th. It's time now for the Pet Project with Abby St. John.
I'm back here at Border Paws Animal Shelter with Pet Project this week, and today we have an adorable poodle cross with something. His name is Pepperoni, and he's about 4 years old. Tell me a little bit about him. He seems super calm and super friendly just from the few minutes that I've spent with him.
So yeah, Pepperoni is a very sweet dog. We think he would do really good in any home, good with kids, good with, you know, other animals. We think he doesn't seem to really bother with the other dogs or cats, so I think with the right introduction he'd be good. So he has a pretty sad story. So he came from a dog seizure near Moose Jaw. There was 120 dogs seized. We ended up taking 3 of them. The rest of them just got spread out through all the rescues in Saskatchewan and Alberta. So I imagine he hasn't gotten a lot of attention in his life, so we're just trying to find him a home where he can maybe be the center of attention.
Yes, and despite having the lack of attention and love, he is so sweet and so calm. Like, he hasn't made a single noise. Even around the bunny here, he hasn't made really any noise. So he's just exploring, which is nice. So you mentioned that he'd be fit for any home, any age children?
I think so, right? I mean, obviously, if you have littles, you know, take the time to teach them how to properly approach a dog. But we've got lots of kids go right up to him in the kennel and no issues there. Yeah, no, he's pretty good. I think he still needs a little bit of training just because I don't think anybody's spent the time with him. But yeah, no, I think he would, and he doesn't seem to mind the other dogs, and even when we walk him past the cats, there doesn't seem to be any issues. And he definitely likes treats.
Yes, he's just a normal dog then. I'd be concerned if he didn't. That's awesome, especially, you know, if other families have pets and stuff, they'll know that he's going to be fine with them.
I think with the right introduction, you shouldn't have any issues with him.
Yeah, I can see right now that he is just the cutest little guy ever. And especially, you know, kind of, you know, out of the puppy stage and more into the adult stage, you know, they tend to be set in their ways, but he seems to be so gentle despite where he came from, which is amazing. So I have no doubt that he'd make a perfect addition to any home. Now, you had your carnival.
Yes.
And that was a huge success. Tell me a little bit about that.
So, yeah, it was a really good turnout. I was really, really happy with the support from the community. We opened at 12, and we had actually a couple hundred people probably come through within the first few hours. Fizzled out a little near the end of the day, but no, it was really good. And it was really nice because it was kind of an event for everyone. $5 went a long way at our event because our tickets were only $1. And so many kids were winning so many tickets that they were just handing them out to other kids. everybody was walking out with a prize, even just the pizza, everything was just so nice to see. I don't think a single kid left without a smile on their face.
Which is exactly what you want happening. You know, this is for kids. So it's great that they had a fantastic time, and it was a success due to, you know, having to push it back and all the planning that had to go into it. Now, another huge event that you put on every year is coming up next week, the Jail and Bail. How excited are you? And tell me a little bit about what's going to happen.
So yeah, we are extremely excited. So we have our annual Jail and Bail coming up on December 9th. It's going to run from 7 to 7. We've already got quite a bit of local celebrities. I know some people from your work are coming. So yeah, we're going to lock them up. It's actually going to take place at our new shelter, which is extremely exciting, because then we can kind of show the public what our progress is, so they can see that we're very, very close to actually getting in there. We're also going to have a silent auction, and we have some really big ticketed items, so we're not quite announcing them yet, but we will hear probably in the days to come, as well as in the next few days on our social media. We'll be announcing all the jailers that you can donate to bail out.
And when the day actually comes, how can people physically donate if they see that they have a jailer that they want to donate to?
So yeah, we're going to have an online platform, so you can either go right online and do it yourself, or you can actually call down to the shelter, and we will have people answering the phones to take your donations.
And you know, the new year is coming up. Is there any other plans that you guys have, or just waiting until the new year and being able to move everything over before you start doing other events?
Yeah, I think that's kind of the plan. I think after, you know, Jail and Bail, we're just going to kind of focus on getting into the new building, and then once we're in there, we'll be probably planning a lot more events, because we'll be able to actually do them right at the shelter. So I know we have, like, you know, I've talked about a paint night, possibly some yoga, that kind of thing, you know, yoga with puppies.
Yes.
And yeah, no, we were definitely going to look into setting up some more programs, do some more volunteer programs, like ones with the kids reading to the dogs, that kind of thing.
That's awesome. Well, now just before we wrap up, is there any donations that you're in need of, whether it be food? I know last week you needed more adult food for the dogs and cats. Is there anything that you need this week?
Yeah, so again, food always, definitely cat food, dog food, puppy food, kitten food, kibble or wet. Again, sound like a broken record, but more blankets we can always use with our puppies. They're quite messy, so we find we're going through bedding quite a bit, so we can always use more blankets as well, or sheets or towels, whatever you have laying around.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much today, and thank you, Pepperoni. He was amazing, and he will definitely make someone's home very happy.
Yes, you will.
Pet Project is sponsored by the Pet Pad. For total pet care, think Pet Pad.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
Continuing on with news this evening, our Chase Mackey caught up with a Battle at the Border organizers, Kim and Leslie, ahead of the exciting competition this weekend.
I'm pleased to be joined today here on Primetime Local News with two of the organizers behind the Battle at the Border Cheer Championship. Now, this event's going to be taking place on Saturday at the Service Sports Center here in Lloydminster. Before we get into this year's event, though, I wanted to give you guys the chance to share a little bit of the history of how the Battle at the Border got started.
Leslie and I both own cheerleading clubs. I'm in Edmonton and she's in Warman, just outside of Saskatoon. And we're like friends through cheerleading, and we compete against each other, and we both run some other events. And we more were just sort of talking one day, like, hey, we should get our two clubs together, almost like as a showcase at near the beginning of the season, just because there is such like friendly vibes between the two groups. And so we were like, yeah, we could, what's halfway? And halfway was Lloydminster, literally right at the border. And so it more started out like as it was going to be just sort of a event amongst the two of us as friends to get the clubs and like all the kids out doing their thing just a little bit earlier in the season than normal. And then do you want to talk about how it grew into what it did?
Yeah, we had this idea, and literally I was driving to her competition in Edmonton, and Lloyd, we stopped quickly and was like, hey, there's a big service complex here. This is definitely doable. I went and took a quick tour, and then it just kind of evolved and other people got on board with it. And just being able to compete earlier in the year and watching the kids progress and that, but it was yeah, it was just kind of like all the pieces were all coming together one by one very nicely. So, and yeah, now everyone, both provinces are joining in and enjoying it.
No, that's awesome. I'm glad I asked about the history because I didn't know that. And that's such a cool story. And it's fun to see how this started. Can you tell me a little bit about this year's event, what's taking place?
We have, yeah, it's, we have almost 700 athletes that will be coming to participate. So the event, in fact, I didn't pull up the schedule in front of me,
Ah,
but
I have.
do you have it? Okay, so you can maybe give the hours. But we have right from like very beginner, like U6, so they're like 4 and 5 years old. They've probably just started even in September, right up to level 7 world's program teams that are adults. So wide age range, wide ability range. So it's like pretty cool show to watch throughout the day, as there's just kind of something for everyone to enjoy.
It was pretty neat to watch the competition come to Lloyd for the first time and not everyone knowing what it was about and watching a lot of bringing our sport to a lot of new people. I think by myself and Kim bringing the sport to Lloyd as a friendship partnership, we were able to create a sport in Lloyd because there is now a couple of clubs because of us bringing that competition there. So, and letting, watching people see the value in it and growing our sport, which was amazing.
Yeah, I've just been here in Lloyd the past couple of years. I moved here in 2020, and even through the COVID times, there was a number of different clubs coming up in different communities around here. So it's great to see things growing. Is the sport growing in general, just across Alberta and Saskatchewan?
It sure is. It did take a bit of a dip during COVID. It was, obviously hard to keep kids engaged when you had to pretty much do it in this like format on Zoom. And so when they're used to throwing each other in the air and flipping and things, it was a bit of a challenge to keep it going through certain parts. But we're now starting to recover. So most of the numbers in the clubs are starting to be where they were pre-COVID. Competition wise, this one, we haven't reached our pre-COVID numbers, but it's very early in the season for this probably being what will be, knock on wood, our first regular season since the 2020 shutdown.
This event, you haven't been able to do this event for a number of years. So how exciting is it to be able to have it back? And also, why did you decide to kind of resurrect it?
Oh, we just had a phone call yesterday. I'm like, are you so excited? I'm so excited. We're like, we don't care that the numbers are lower right now. I think we're just so excited to be together. Like, if you really think about it, none of us actually got to our sport anyways, never got back to normal till March, like probably second week of March of this year. So it is scary to put our kids back out there when we haven't been able to be ready by December 3 years, but I think it's great. But yeah, we were on the phone yesterday, like just so excited, like just to be there and be together and have our clubs and our friends from other clubs come and, just have a really good, fun environment, right?
We know that the name is Battle at the Border, but like a better description would be fun with friends.
Yeah. Yeah. Meeting in the middle, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see. It seems like it's going to be a great event with lots of energy. For people who are coming by, maybe guest visitors stopping by to see the show on Saturday, is there anything that people should keep in mind?
With about that 700 athletes, we do expect probably anywhere from 2,000 to 2,500 people in the building with spectators, etc. The doors open at 10:30 on Saturday, and wristbands are $15. Children 5 and under are free, and there's 2 sessions, and our second session also starts at, I do believe, 1:00. And they can also go to battleborder.ca for all of our schedule times of teams, etc.
And
Awesome.
I think if I was someone brand new, just prepare for it to be loud.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. yeah, it's
Lots of
just,
music, lots of excitement.
yeah, music, just the crowd is loud. It's just a very like high-paced, energetic environment.
Lots of hairspray.
Awesome. Well, thank you both for taking some time to talk with me today. I'm glad we were able to do this and kind of showcase this event that's going to be coming here to town in a couple days.
Starting things off in sports. This weekend saw the city of Nashville host a two-day hockey tournament where select U18 female clubs in North America faced off against each other. And one team right here in Lloydminster won it all. The Lloydminster PWM Steelers were crowned the Smashville Tournament champs after defeating the New Jersey Titans 3-2 in the tournament final. Paige Webb was given Player of the Game honors, scoring 2 goals in the big game. The Steelers will now head home and get set for their next game against the Rocky Mountain Raiders on Saturday. In football news, after being crowned the WFL champs, once again, Holy Rosary Raiders added another banner to end their season. The Raiders were crowned Tier 3 champions in this year's Alberta Bowl after defeating the Strathmore Spartans 44-0. This will now conclude the Raiders football season.